Hi Dave, Danny here, just run you through the Duplicator install. So first of all, I've got the FTP details here and I'm just going to copy the password that we used there. And this is my back-end console and there's my MySQL manager. So on my setup, my hoster, I just put in a username and a password, and this creates a new SQL database for me. So in essence, all you need to do is find out from your host how you create a new database, and all you need to know once you create that database is the username and the password and the database name, and they're the details you need to put into Duplicator. You might have a totally different backend for your host, so I'm just chucking in the details in a text file so I've got them for use later. But like I say, in essence all you need to do is create a blank MySQL database and make note of the details. In your root of your hosting directory, you should just upload the zip file and the installer PHP. There should be nothing else in there, so don't do an install of WordPress. As you can see, if you go to the glalogo.com website at the moment, there's nothing in there, and what we do is we just put installer.php or /installer.php on the end and press return. So this will launch the Duplicator file. The host name is always, or in most cases, normally localhost, and here we chuck in the username and password that we just created earlier. Now, host being localhost is 90% of hosts use that, but if it is different with your provider, you just need to find out what they use. So now we need the database name. To find that out for sure, I'm just going to go into the manage option on my back end, and we've got the MySQL database admin. We can see the name of the database there, and if we click on that database and look at the structure, we can see there's no tables, it's completely blank. Again, most hosts will use something similar to this, so you can see the tables are blank. So now we know the name of the database, just paste the database name in there. Database creation ticked. We don't have to worry about table removal because it's a blank database, and we'll just test the connection and we're saying it's successful, so everything's okay. Tick the box so you've agreed to the terms and the warnings. This gives you a summary of where it's going to install it to, the database and the server. Click OK and it will now process the files. Now what it's doing here, if you look back in your FTP software and do a refresh, is it's expanding the zip and it's dropping out every single element that it backed up. So that'll be all your WordPress files, plugins, every single folder that was in your WordPress directory. Now it's finished and you get a summary of the information, and if we look back at the database structure now, you can see all the tables are there, so it's now populated fully. So we've got the old URL that you came from and the old path, so you can see yours was using home, download and public, and the new settings with the new domain and the new path and the title, which will leave as the same. So you can alter these if you need to, but in 99% of the time these are all correct. So you just click update tables. This will update the WordPress tables to reflect the new domain name for the new domain that you're hosting it on. Now at this point you should get a summary saying OK. Now we didn't, so I'm just looking at the log file here, because it said OK but it didn't move us on to the next section. The log file didn't show any errors, so we'll go to the website and it does appear to be working OK. Everything is there apart from some images which are missing. Now looking into this a bit further, I think the images are missing because your hosting is using a slightly different method on one of the WordPress plugins or add-ins that the theme is using. So if we go to the Let's Go Mobile page, we can see that CURL is not installed on my host, so it's not supporting an element of your theme. It's not really a problem. I could just phone my host up and get that changed. Looks to me like most of the other pages are working and Duplicator has done its job. All your blog appears to be there, and your about pages with your privacy policy, etc. So not having the WordPress admin, I can't go into the back end and just look to see the images. However, if I look at the source code, I can see that the image links are there, and the image links are working, so I can only imagine it is the CURL stuff which is causing the problem. Last but not least, just go /WP admin and make sure you've got a login to WordPress. So with all that, that's that part done. We just need to delete the files left behind by Duplicator, because you don't want to leave them there. Anyone could download them and then restore your site to theirs and potentially hack or find out the information to hack your site. So we want to delete the zip package, delete the installer.php, the installer.log, and the installer-data.sql file. These are the 5 files it creates. Now, if the process had completed in a normal fashion, you would have got an option within Duplicator to do this automatically, but as it hasn't, we'll just manually delete them from the FTP area. And that's it. Once that's deleted, you're pretty much all done. There is another WP folder in there which Duplicator would have created, which you might just want to check to make sure it's empty. But other than that, that's it. All done. Pretty straightforward, pretty fast, and you should find that if your hosting was the same as your original hosting, everything works perfectly. Drop me a message if you've got any other questions. Cheers, Dave.